So today we're solving exponential equations and logarithmic equations. So that's when we have an x in the exponents, like in all of example 1, and then the logarithmic equations are the ones like in example 2, when the x is next to the log. So the three properties up at the top that we'll fill in: if you have the same base on bottom, then your two exponents will be equal. The next property is if you take log of A and it equals the log of B, it means that you started off with A equaling B. And last, if you have the log base B and the log base B, then X and Y are equal to each other. So we'll use those three properties. So let's look at A. See how we have base 3 and base 3? It means that we can set the exponents equal to each other. So what we're going to write is 3 equals x plus 5. And then we just solve it for x. So we'll subtract 5 from both sides, and x equals negative 2. You'll do the same thing on the next one. Since 4 and 4 are the same, you'll write 9 equals x minus 1 and solve that for x. In order to do that, you'll add 1 to both sides, and you'll get 10. For B, we have a base 2 right here, but unfortunately we don't have base 2 on the other side. So let's make it a base 2. So we have 2 to the 2x, and how can we rewrite 1024 using base 2? Well, it turns out that 2 to the 10th is 1024. Now that those 2's match up, we can just set 2x equal to 10 and solve. So 2x equals 10 and x equals 5. You'll try to do the same thing on the next one. Since this one starts with a 3 to the 4x, we're going to try writing the 6561 with a base 3. So start doing 3 caret 2, 3 caret 3, and so on. And it turns out 3 caret 8 is the same thing as 6561. So now that those 3's match up, we can say 4x equals 8. And when you solve that equation by dividing both sides by 4, you get 2. Let's look at C. We have a 2 and an 8 for a base. I'm going to keep the 2 for a base, but I'm going to rewrite that 8 using 2. Well, 2 to what power equals 8? 2 to the 3rd is 8. But don't forget, we have this x plus 6 right there. So I'm going to write the x plus 6 next to that 3, and I'm going to put it in parentheses. Now our 2's match up, and we're going to write x, this x, equals all of that. So x equals, and when I write what's next to it, see how the 3's in front of the parentheses? We need to distribute it. So x equals 3x, and 3 times 6 is 18. So this is the equation we're solving. I'm going to move the x's to the left side. So since they're positive, I'm going to subtract them. And 1x minus 3x gives us negative 2x's, and it equals 18. And when we divide both sides by negative 2, we come up with negative 9 for the answer. Alright, on the next one, we have 2 to the x. We'll leave it. Let's rewrite 4 using a base 2. 2 to the 2nd is 4. Don't forget, we have the x plus 1, so we need to write it in parentheses next to the 2. Now we have those 2's matching up, and we're going to write x equals all of that. So x equals 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 1 is 2. So let's solve that for x. I'm going to bring these x's to the other side. They're positive, so I'll subtract them. So we're going to have 1 minus 2x, which is negative 1x, or negative x, and that equals 2. So to get rid of the negative 1, we'll divide on both sides by negative 1, and the answer will be negative 2. Alright, now for the last ones. We could start off by writing 5 to the x minus 2 equals 5 to the something. 5 to what power equals 200? Well, you could try 5 caret 2, 5 caret 3, 5 caret 4. It turns out you can't get 5 to raise to a power and equal 200. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the log of both sides. So I'm going to take the log of 5 to the x minus 2 and set it equal to the log of 200. So all I've done is I've written log and log in front of each side. What that allows us to do is use the log properties. So see how we have log, the base is 10 on each side, because it's the common log. But see how we have log base 10 of 5 to the x minus 2? We learned yesterday that property that deals with the exponents. We're going to take it and we're going to move it out front and multiply it. So that x minus 2 is going to come out front, and I'm going to write it in parentheses so that it stays together. And it's going to be multiplied by the log of 5. All of it still equals the log of 200. So the next step, see how we have the x minus 2 multiplied by log 5, and we're trying to get this x all by itself? What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the log 5. So in order to undo that multiplication, we're going to divide by log 5, and it will cancel out. If we divide on that side by log 5, we have to divide the other side by log 5. So since we canceled that log 5 out, all we're left with on the first side is x minus 2. And your job is to go to your calculator and type in log 200, close the parenthesis, divided by log 5. When you do that, you get about 3.29, just from typing that in the calculator. The very last step is to add 2 to both sides, and your final answer is approximately 5.29. Let's see if you could get this last one. Try it on your own first, and then you can check it. So let's see. This is 2, so you would first try to write 2 to what power equals 15, and you wouldn't be able to do it. So we're going to take the log of both sides. Log of 2 to the 3x equals the log of 15. And then we're going to use that exponent property, where we take that 3x and multiply it out front in parentheses. So we have 3x multiplied by log 2. 3x times log 2 equals log 15. So since these are multiplied together, we're going to get rid of log 2 by dividing by log 2. It'll cross out. Divide the other side by log 2. And so we have 3x equals, if you type all that in, log 15 to close the parenthesis divided by log 2, you get 3.9. So when you divide it by 3, you get x equals 1.3. Alright, now for the log equations. These ones have the x's next to the log somewhere. So you already kind of know how to do A, actually. What we're going to do is we're going to take that from log form to exponential form so we don't have to deal with the log in there. So we're going to write 3 to the second power equals x minus 5. 3 to the second equals x minus 5. We're used to that being one number, but now it's just x minus 5. So we'll keep going and solve this. The first thing is to figure out 3 to the second, which is 9. So 9 equals x minus 5. We will add 5 to both sides, and our final answer is x equals 14. Try the next one. It'll be fairly easy. You'll rewrite it in exponential form. 5 to the second equals 2x minus 1. So first, take care of the 5 to the second. 5 squared is 25 equals 2x minus 1. So we'll solve this for x. We'll add 1 to both sides and get 26 equals 2x. And when we divide both sides by 2, we get 13. All right, B, we would be able to do just like A if the logs were combined. We have logs in 2 places. So it turns out we are allowed to combine them because they're both the common log. They're both base 10. So we can write 1 log base 10, and we combine these. Since it's a subtraction problem, we will divide those 2 numbers. So 45x over 3 is 15x. So that's what we're going to write next to the log base 10. All of that equals 1. Now that we have it written as a single log, we can use the exponential form and just say 10 to the first equals 15x. Well, 10 to the first is just 10. So all we need to do is solve it for x by dividing both sides by 15. And x equals 2/3. Or if you put 0.6 repeating, I would accept that as well. Very last one. We have log 6 and log 6. Let's put those together. So we'll have log 6 of, we need to do x to the 7th and divide it by x to the 4th. So x to the 7th over x to the 4th, we're going to subtract those exponents, and this is going to be x to the 3rd. All of this equals 2. Now we can rewrite it. We're going to write 6 to the 2nd equals x to the 3rd. 6 squared equals x to the 3rd. So 6 squared, that's what we'll do next, is 36. So 36 equals x to the 3rd. If this was a square root, if this was x squared, we would square root it to cancel out the 2. But since it's a cube root, we're not going to square root it. We're going to cube root it. So we're going to do the cube root of both sides. And to get to this on your calculator, you'll press Math and then option 4. When you do that, you'll come up with x equals 3.3. If you don't have a graphing calculator, what you can do instead is type in 36 to the 1/3 power. That will also work. Okay? So good luck with the homework problems. I tried to make them just like these example problems.